a change in the law, because you should not be able to do what he did and then all of a sudden say, we got into a scuffle, I shot and killed him, I was defending myself.
If this was my child instead of Trayvon, you would have to hold me back. I would want to kill Zimmerman. It would take every ounce of energy for me to not wind up in prison. And I look at the Martin family, and their courage is extraordinary. Their strength that they showed, I don't know how they did it. But I wouldn't want the burden of proof lowered to get the guy who killed my son. I'd want it, but I would hope that that doesn't happen, because the minute we lower the burden of proof for Zimmerman, for Casey Anthony, for OJ, whoever else you think might have gotten away with it, then when you're arrested, that burden of proof is lowered, and we all suffer.
Okay? Should the law be changed? Should there be change in the law, Mark?
But Roland, Mark makes an excellent point here, and I can tell you, having worked for many years in the court system, we sometimes judge these juries without understanding what their limitations and instructions are, because this standard of reasonable doubt, the prosecution stands up and says coulda, woulda, shoulda. That on its face is admitting reasonable doubt.
Yes.
George's best friend says that George did what he had to do to defend himself. Here's what he had to say. Was this an all or none situation? Did he have to pull that trigger?
I believe 100% yes. It was a matter of, we're within an arm's reach of each other. I was struck in the face. I fell down on my back, and in no time, his knees are up here by my ribs, and he's pummeling me. There was no option.
Do you believe if he hadn't had that gun and shot Trayvon, that George Zimmerman would be dead today?
I do.
Absolutely.
So you think Trayvon would have killed him?
Absolutely.
I think so.
The judge says right off the top, a killing that is excusable or was committed by the use of justifiably deadly force is lawful if it's done while resisting an attempt to murder or commit a felony upon George Zimmerman. And under the stand your ground law, then if he's attacked, then he fully has the right to defend himself, even with deadly force, if he has a perception of threat. Is that correct, Mark?
Wow.
Yes, however, we have to make a distinction. What you just described is what every state except Ohio essentially has. It's standard self-defense. The stand your ground is getting a rotten reputation because it was initially threatened to be used. It was not used in this case. Stand your ground would have meant that he had immunity before trial. The defense didn't go that route. And stand your ground also stands for the proposition, let me finish, that you do not have to, you don't have to escape from the harm. In this instance, he was on his back. Both sides really didn't address that issue. He couldn't have gone anywhere. So stand your ground was not an issue in this case.
Dr. Field, no, it is a problem. It is a fundamental problem. Many of us had no idea about the extent of stand your ground laws. My greatest fear, Dr. Field, is that we are essentially telling black parents, you need to send your kids out wearing tuxedos and bow ties because somebody else will look at them and make a judgment of them without even knowing them, without them even doing anything. And parents, black parents right now are saying, my God, I can't even send my kid down the street for some Skittles and iced tea because somebody may end up killing them.